welcome to SOUQ Sports on this Wednesday midweek edition of SOUQ Sports. I'm glad to be your host today. My name remains Charlie Montero, and with me here today I have the one and only. I would like for him to introduce himself. It's been a while, he's been running, you know. Well, glad to have him here today.
Well, he's glad to be back. I know you'll be like, I've been running away, but then he's glad to be back here to discuss sports again. Well, my name is Brown. Kind of love that your name, Charlie Montero.
You know, it goes with the money. It goes with the money.
Well, then it's amazing to be here once again to talk about sports. A lot has happened actually, from the local to the international scene, and we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, and we'll be diving right to the news that will be making the rounds since Monday, talking about the Libya versus Nigeria game that was postponed. So the Libya versus Nigeria game that was scheduled to, take place on Tuesday, that was yesterday, against Libya in Mediterranean nights, was scheduled to hold yesterday, Tuesday, was called off. The Super Eagles were scheduled to play Libya in the 2025 AFCON Qualifier at the Benigna Mater Stadium in Benghazi. Libya on Tuesday, the match was supposed to be a return leg clash after Nigeria defeated the North African country 1-0 at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo last Friday. However, players and officials of the Super Eagles were abandoned at the Al Abrak International Airport without food, water, or internet access for over 15 hours, arriving in Libya on Sunday. Austin Eguavon's men eventually left Libya on Monday afternoon. The Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, took the decision to pull the Super Eagles out of the encounter following the inhumane treatment the players received. Now, what do you make out of the whole situation? For me, it's I would say it's embarrassing, for an African giant like ourselves, Nigeria. I would say it's embarrassing putting those players, professionals, superstars, anyhow you like to call them, through those inhumane,
If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time I'm hearing of this kind of a thing that happened to players. I mean, staying in the airport for 15 good hours. Well, I saw some of the pictures where they were sleeping on the chair, and I felt so embarrassed. I mean, Victor Boniface came out to say that, Africa, we can do better, which is actually true. I mean, we can do better. I mean, after this, if whatever decision of, I'm not really a fan of, the whole protocol of NFL, but whatever decision they want to take, I think I'm backing them on this because it's uncalled for. It's not something that is supposed to happen. We have another match to play, and the players are in the airport for 15 good hours waiting for flights. I mean, I can't even understand the main reason behind this, but I mean, players spending 50 hours without internet access, no food, no water, no network.
I expect them to play on Tuesday.
You're expecting
when do they have time to train? When do they have time to relax?
I mean,
the mental strain alone.
I mean, you have to train. You have to go through some. It's rest. I mean, 15 hours. If you spend 15 hours at your home or in your house resting, it's a different ballgame. But then you spend 15 hours in the airport. It's just like you're waiting for a cab. No, it doesn't make sense.
The mental strain.
I think Africa, we have to find a way to do better because if we are going to, want to move forward in this football team, I mean, we have to do better. This is one of the reasons why most players leave their country to go and play for another country because the guarantee of everything is there.
How the international body, maybe FIFA, will be looking at the whole situation and shaking their head. I mean, it's embarrassing, but we move on. After the Super Eagles boycotted the match against Libya, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, released a statement over the delaying of the Nigerian national team at the Al Abrak International Airport. CAF referred to the maltreatment, referred the matter to their disciplinary board for investigation and vowed to take appropriate action against those who violated its statutes and regulation. The matter has been referred to the CAF disciplinary board for investigation and appropriate action. We hope that appropriate actions will be taken regarding this issue, and we hope that CAF would, uphold what is in their statutes and, met out, justice or met out punishment to those that have wronged and those that have,
I think they should just find a way to set things right and set things right. Like you mentioned, the appropriate, and disciplinary measures they're supposed to take, because you will not expect the players to, just jump up, be happy. And had it been, it was a delay of 1 or 2 hours, I would be like, okay, it's just 1 or 2 hours. But 15 hours, I mean, it's uncalled for. Is this some kind of punishment for defeating you or what? So let me just understand. For 15 hours keeping me in the airport. I mean, it's better you tell me that, okay, the flight has been cancelled. We can just go back to our hotels and just rest, instead of spending 50 hours at the park. I just call it park, not airport.
Now, moving away from the whole saga and the whole, controversy, we'll be going towards 2025 AFCON qualification. Now, Kenya head coach Engin Firat has turned to divine intervention to help national team Hamebi Stars qualify for the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Morocco. After a rather good start to their campaign to qualify for the 7th appearance at the 35th edition of the tournament, Kenya's chances took a nosedive after losing back-to-back matches against 5-time African champions Cameroon. Kenya kicked off their qualification campaign in Group J with a 0 draw against Zimbabwe before beating Namibia 2-1. The outcome from this opener saw the East African nation sit at the top of their group with 4 points, the same as Cameroon, while Zimbabwe were third with 2 points and Namibia last without a single point. Now, a 96th minute winner from Sadio Mane earned Senegal a 1-0 win over Malawi and a place at the African Cup of Nations finals in Morocco next year. But Ghana are in serious danger of missing out after a surprise loss to Sudan on Tuesday. Senegal had 30 attempts at goal against their host, but it took until the final seconds for Mane to seal victory with a 25-yard free kick that was curled around the wall and into the bottom corner of the net. The 2021 winners, who recently parted ways with their longtime coach Aliou Cisse, joined Burkina Faso and as the qualified nations from Group L in the 2024 team finals, with 2 more matches to play in November international window. Now let's talk about Sadio Mane coming out clutch again for his team Senegal. We have talked about the brilliance of Senegal, talking about the importance of big match performers, and we have seen the way he practically dragged, carried the weight on his shoulder and dragged this team, to give them the win. Well, what do you have to say?
I would say, first of all, congratulations to Senegal. Yeah. For me, I think they have qualified 10 points and also 10 points to the people. They are currently second, and also 10 points to the people on top. What I would just say is congratulations to them. They proved to be that formidable team that you can count on yet again in Africa. Well, Sadio Mane, he didn't have the best of time with Ronaldo at Al-Nassr before he left, but then it didn't stop him from, still carrying the weight on his shoulder and everything, the passing and everything of Senegal. And someone kind of stepped up his game recently, talking about Nicolas Jackson for Senegal, and it's been some kind of let's say a ride for them, and they have been actually doing well. So as it stands now, they have qualified for the AFCON. The second team, they have qualified for the AFCON. But the most important thing to me now is just to make sure that the Super Eagles of Nigeria find their way.
Pole position, so I don't really have any issue with that.
Okay, just the same way that he's taking a drift with Kenya. I mean, it's football. A lot of things can happen. So we just hope that we just get everything together and make sure that we make it to the next AFCON.
Now, moving to our West African neighbors, Ghana. Ghana slumped to a 2-0 loss against Sudan in neutral Libya as Ahmed Al-Tash and Mohamed Abdulrahman scored within 3 minutes of each other in their second half. Ghana look set to miss a first continental finals since 2004, having managed a paltry 2 points from their 4 games. 5 adrift of the qualification positions, with a difficult trip to pole leaders Angola next up. Now, moving to Democratic Republic of Congo, they have qualified following a 2-0 victory in Tanzania as Maschek earlier scored a brace, his first in the 88 minutes and the second deep into stoppage time. They have a full haul of 12 points from their 4 games. Coach Avram Grant's Zambia claimed an important 1-0 win over Chad to take a big step towards qualification thanks to Kennedy's Mousanda goal in the 20th minute of that tie. Now, Gabon are also on course after a 2-0 win over Lesotho in neutral Durban, with Xavi Bika, I beg your pardon, and Rodi F. Gahe grabbing goals in the second half. Uganda beat South Sudan 2-1 in Juba, and their qualification will be confirmed in Matchday 5 when the November international break comes back around, as South Africa were held to a 1-1 draw in Congo. Also, Rwanda beat Benin 2-1 in Group D, with the other fixture on Tuesday between Libya and Nigeria postponed. Nigeria head the pole position with 7 points from 3 games, followed by Benin 6 points from 4 games, Rwanda 5 from 4, and Libya 1 from 3. Tunisia were held to a 1-1 draw by Comoros, with 2 points separating the North African side at the top of the pool and Gambia in third. Hosts Morocco, Cameroon, and Algeria are the other teams already in the finals lineup. Now, it's been a crazy international week, especially in the AFCON qualifications, and we have seen some underdogs coming out to prove that they also should be mentioned when they mention the big dogs. But we see that it's more or less a contrast to what we saw in game week 3, whereby we see countries like Egypt winning comfortably, but then in the return leg you see them struggle. And also Ivory Coast also lost 1-0 to Liberia. And you just look at those games and you say African football is really doing well, in my opinion, but I don't know about you.
Well, I feel like these are the players that want to make a name for themselves. I feel like most of them are not really, they're really playing to play out themselves, not like playing to make sure that the whole Africa, because from what I've seen, the officiating and everything, yes, I'll give them kudos. The last AFCON, they were actually good. The VAR and everything, they were actually good. But I don't know what happened. Looking at 2 times now, they have cancelled Lookman's goal. I mean, it was purely not an offside. It wasn't an offside. So I think we still have in place some things that we need to do better in terms of African football. And also looking at Ghana, I think Ghana needs a revamp. I don't know. When it comes to players and everything, they have been struggling since right from last 2 years or that. But they have been struggling to beat the Ghana, the Black Stars we know. Where we do have Dede Ayew, who was still balling, and Jordan Ayew when they were still balling. But now this particular Ghana team is not really showing the Black Stars vibe that we used to know.
But do you think that we are really expecting too much from them? Given that they are coming from the transition period of the Stars or the Black Stars of Ghana that we remember them to be, how they, their heroics in the World Cup from glory days, and now that they are trying to transit into the younger generation. Do you think that we have really put out a lot of expectation for them?
No, if you are saying a lot of expectation, to be like, okay, you want them to go ahead and win the AFCON or go ahead and make it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup or something, but then they are struggling to qualify from a group. How many points? I think 2 or 3 points. 2 points they have. I mean, from how many matches? So it's not like we are expecting them to, go ahead and win AFCON, reach the semi-finals, but then put up an amazing game, an amazing fight, have a good style of football and everything. Nobody's expecting them to be like the Argentinas of the world or the Ivory Coast. No. Yes, you are undergoing a transition stage. You understand, from the Black Stars of Ghana we know before, the top players to new generation kind of players. But then nobody is expecting you to be that formidable. But at least the little you can do, what I call the bare minimum, qualify for. Those days when you do have. If they put out games, teams that are going to qualify, you say, okay, Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, and Egypt, Tunisia, these teams, you are going to call them out and say, okay, sure, they are going to qualify. But now look at Ghana, 2 points from how many games? So I think they need to do better.
Can we not attribute that to the improvement or how good the African football is now? How better from what we used to remember? The African football is better off now than it used to be. Can't we attribute this to that?
I wouldn't say that, because we can't get the days of.
Looking at these results, look at Egypt struggling to Mauritania. Look at Botswana coming up against Cape Verde. It's more or less like as usual for Morocco.
What I would say is that yes, we have teams that are stepping up.
Yeah, because the underdogs are closing the gap.
They are kind of stepping up, but then that doesn't mean that the likes of Ghana should be, finding it difficult to win again. So I think that they still have a lot of work to do when it comes to both in their training board and everything. They still have a lot of work to do to make sure that we see before. If you say a match between Ghana and it be a very tough game. But now, Ghana struggling to make it. The last AFCON, I can't, if my memory serves me right, they didn't even do well. Now they are struggling to qualify for this one. Come on now, how bad can it be?
Well, leaving the qualifiers and going into the NPFL, the 2024-2025 Nigerian Football Premier League season will resume this match week in the midweek fixture. We'll be having midweek fixtures running from today and tomorrow. And one of the biggest NPFL match days, 7 fixtures in the clash between reigning champions Enugu Rangers and former champions Kano Pillars. The thrilling matchup is scheduled to take place at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Enugu, at 4 p.m. today. Another nail-biting fixture to look forward to is the clash between coach Finidi George Rivers United, who are yet to suffer a defeat so far this season, and Shooting Stars, who have been inconsistent in their ongoing NPFL campaign, Ikorodu City FC and Heartland of Owerri, who both recorded their first wins of the season during Matchday 6, will clash at the Den Aniyam Stadium in Owerri on Thursday. The NPFL midweek fixtures are on your screen right now, and below we'll be seeing the fixtures and the Matchday 7, which is going to start today. We'll see Lovi Stars versus El Kanami Warriors by 2 p.m. Enugu Rangers versus Kano Pillars, and Kwara United will be coming against Sunshine Stars. Eyimba will be welcoming Niger Tornadoes, and Nasarawa United also play host to Abia Warriors today. And tomorrow, which is Thursday, October 17, Bendel will be going up against Bayelsa United by 3 p.m. That won't be a mouth-watering clash. And Shooting Stars against Heartland also goes up against Ikorodu City. Plateau United versus Remo Stars, 4 p.m. local time tomorrow. Katsina United play host to Aqua United. And that will be that for the midweek fixture. Which of these games are you finding is exciting? Like, which ones do you pick out of the bunch?
Well, I think the game between Enugu Rangers and Kano Pillars for me. But then, first of all, I would say kudos to the former Super Eagles coach, Finidi George. The work he's doing with Rivers United currently is amazing. They are yet to suffer a defeat in the MPFL season so far, and they are not just that they are playing good football, and they are playing amazing football. So I would say kudos to him. He should continue his good work. I mean, not letting the whole drama of the NFF and anything to bring him down, but then he moved ahead with the Port Harcourt-based side, and they are doing amazingly well. But for me, the all important fixture I will look at this midweek will be between Enugu Rangers and Kano Pillars. I feel like I feel like had it was Enugu Rangers and Enyimba, it would be like a repeat of what happened last season. But then Enugu Rangers and Kano Pillars, I feel like is going to be a match-watching feature to look at for.
So what about the game against Ikorodu City? Because here we like to follow the local, the local clubs here, and we have our very own Ikorodu City. Even though they have struggled, but they have been able to get their first 3 points. Last match day 6. So I don't know that clash they will be having. What do you make out of it?
Well, first of all, it's an away fixture, and I know that at the MPFL we do have this must home win syndrome that happens anytime we are playing game. But I think that scenario have kind of tried to change so far. Ikorodu City, they are the newbies coming into the MPFL. Like I always say, it's a different ball game. When you are coming from the championship to the main game, it's a different ball game altogether. We saw them struggle to an extent, and they finally got to get their first 3 points in the league. But then, the only thing I would just say is that they should just try their best to stay in the league. it's not going to be all rosy for them. I mean, coming from championship and making it, I think this is the first appearance in the main league.
But looking at how their coach resigned before after that game, before their matchday 6 game, do you think it has positively affected their performances? Because after he resigned, they got their 3 points, their first win in the NPFL season. How do you think that has affected the players?
I would not say, I wouldn't judge with that first game. Yes, they got their first 3 points. Now, subsequent games will determine what is going to happen. We always have this ginger once they sack the first coach, when they sack a coach, the next coach that's coming on, his first game it's hardly for him to going to lose. He's not going to lose. Everybody expecting him to do very well and play out a very nice ball game. But then, subsequently, let's see how it's going to be. After 3 or 5 games, then we can start looking at it.
The assistant coach made close to 5 changes before the game in the weekend. We saw him change the keeper, and some that sat on the bench in their last game started. So don't you think he's trying to find motivation from different places?
Different angles. Well, it all boils down to consistency, or that's what I say. If you are able to be consistent with this, now, I'm not going to, start blowing his trumpet and saying, oh, he's doing, yes, nice game, nice tactics, got yourself the first 3 points. Now, what lies ahead? We do have another test away game, Land to play. So by the time we go to first 5 games, now we can start judging. What is he making right? Is he making it right? Then we can start placing the judgment and everything. But then, well, good luck to him and kudos to good luck to Ikorodu City. Let's just make sure that they try their possible best to stay in at this point. I'm not giving them the challenge to go and fight for top 4, top 2, anything. But the most important thing is for them to make sure that they get themselves and remain in the league.
Well, we will be following the updates for Ikorodu City, as we will be leaving the shores of Nigeria and going to Europe. UEFA Nations League, we would talk about UEFA Nations League after this break. Welcome back to the show. Glad to know that you're still with us. I still have my guests around with me, and we will be moving to the UEFA Nations League in Europe as Scotland frustrated Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal in a 0 draw at home on Tuesday to avoid losing 5 consecutive competitive games for the first time ever. The home side needed a wonderful save from Craig Gordon to deny Bruno Fernandes a winner in the closing stages, but held out to secure their first point in the top tier of Nations League. Portugal remained on top of the Group A, but were made to wait to book their place in the match quarter-final on his 216th international appearance. Ronaldo made his 200th appearance and start for his country more than 21 years on from his first. However, the 39-year-old failed to add to his 133 Portugal goals and stormed off the field at full time, ranting at the officials. Scotland have won just one of their last 16 games, a 2-0 friendly victory over Gibraltar in June, and remain without a victory in a competitive match for over a year. Northern Ireland rattled home 3 first-half goals for the first time since 2019 as they registered an emphatic 5-0 victory over Bulgaria in the UEFA Nations League. Defending UEFA Nations League champions Spain remain unbeaten against Serbia across their 3-match meetings, having won twice and drawn one following a one-sided 3-0 victory at the sold-out Estadio Nuevo Arcangel. Now let's talk about the first 3 games I just mentioned now. Looking at Portugal, struggling against Scotland, even though they have played Scotland at home and won 3-0. Now this is the reverse fixture, obviously, and we've seen them struggle. Not really struggle because we know Scotland is a formidable team regardless, any day, anytime. But seeing them not being able to register one goal or a goal at all, how bad has it got involved?
For me, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad game for them. You must not win all your games. You must not know your score. It's not like Portugal. They are having a bad season entirely, a bad run entirely. It's just a game that happened. They were not able to score. They played a goalless draw, and good luck they did not lose. It would have been a different story by now if they lost. So they did not lose, and nice save from Godons to deny Bruno Fernandes that particular one. And they head on to their own side of the game, and it ended goalless. So, well, they are still on course. If they have won, I think they would have qualified. So they are still on course. One game can, change everything for them, and they will just qualify. So I don't think it was a bad game for them. Yes, it wasn't a 100% good game. The officials, you can say after the game, Ronaldo was kind of angry and everything, was ranting and everything. Yeah, the thing has happened. The game has happened. They played a goalless draw, and they couldn't convert their chances. Yes, kudos to Scotland too. Like I did mention earlier, the goalkeeper Godons made an outstanding stepping up, to deny Bruno Fernandes some couple of goals there. But then it happened goalless.
When we look at that star-studded Portugal team, you would expect nothing less than a win, because when you check their general play, the offensive play is always cutthroat. When you have Pedro Neto coming in from the right, I mean they just have like-for-like substitutions in their score. When you pull up side by side with Scotland, which we know they are very compact. They are very, they are a compact team. They would rather sit back and let you break them down. But Portugal, they boast of very good fire attack up front, with Bruno Fernandes, the likes of João Felix, Ronaldo, talk about Neto and the likes.
I understand what I'm saying actually, but even if you have the world best 11, it's not a guarantee that you're going to win all your games. That's just the truth. So they've won several of their games. It's not that they're having a bad run. So it's just a game that happened that Scotland came prepared. So yes, I mean, they came prepared. You would not expect them to lose guard anyhow. So they came prepared, and they met Portugal, and they played it all out, from goalkeeper to striker to people that came from the bench. Everybody was ready for Portugal. So it wasn't entirely a bad run for Portugal. It's just that, I mean, you cannot win all your games. That's just, even if you bring in the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, all of them, the world 11, and start them and say 5 matches straight, they might not be able to. It might surprise that they might lose some. So that's just the game of football. I would just say kudos to Scotland too.
Well, kudos to Scotland for stopping the formidable Portuguese team. Well, we'll be moving on as Group A1 of the UEFA Nations League remains wide open after Poland and Croatia played out a thrilling 3-3 draw at the PGE Nordom Stadium. The match started with a bang as Poland looked to take the lead early on as Piotr Zielinski gave them the 1-0 lead. Croatia quickly responded with a spectacular volley from Borna Sosa, creating control of the game, scoring 2 more goals before halftime. Poland fought back, however, in the second half, with Sebastian Szymanski, equalizing after a crucial save from their goalkeeper. The match ended with a red card for Croatia's goalkeeper, and Poland failed to capitalize, narrowly missed out on a winning goal. Now, if we look at the results from the concluded UEFA Nations League, we'll see that a lot of goals came, especially Northern Ireland. I never expected that they would score that many goals, scoring 3 in the first half against Bulgaria. We would say yes, Bulgaria is a weaker side when you compare, but I feel like the home advantage really played its part.
I wouldn't say it's the home advantage. I mean, football is about preparation. That's how I see it. It's about preparation and consistency. If you are not that consistent, you don't prepare well to face your opponent, it's going to be hard for you. But then, looking at the one game that stood out for me was that Croatia and the Poland game. 3-3 it ended, 6-goal thriller. I mean, I didn't see that coming. But then, Croatia, they are still on course.
Yeah.
Portugal first, Croatia second, Poland third with 4 points, Portugal with 10 points, and then Croatia with 7 points. So it's still an open group for, not for Portugal, because I mean, I think they just need a point. They just need a point, and their next game is not against Croatia or Poland itself. It's against the last people in the group, and then Poland, they just need more points. So it's open between Croatia and Poland to see 4 points, 7 points, who is going to make it. So the game is still open. I would just say good luck to whoever. It should not be bad. I mean, I would love to see both Poland and Croatia, but then unfortunately, you cannot see two of them in the competition.
Well, we can't.
Well, if there is any opportunity for best losers, maybe they can join.
Well, they will be fighting to stay away from relegation from anyway. So I think they can fight back and try to push up for qualification for the next round. Well, we bring exciting news as Thomas Tuchel has been appointed as the new England manager. The Football Association (FA) announced on Wednesday the German has signed an 18-month contract from January 1st, which will run until the end of the year 2026 World Cup. He becomes the third foreign manager to coach England after Sweden's Sven-Göran Eriksson and Italy's Fabio Capello. And in a statement, he read, "I am very proud to have been given the honor of leading the England team." Tuchel said, "I have long felt a personal connection to the game in this country, and it has given me some incredible moments already. To have the chance to coach and represent England is a huge privilege, and the opportunity to work with this special group of players and talented players is very exciting." Now, look at kind words coming from Thomas Tuchel. We know the controversy around how he left Chelsea and everything, but how do you rate this appointment by the FA?
First of all, I'm kind of surprised to see Thomas Tuchel, because it was just yesterday that you're talking about Thomas Tuchel going to United. Everybody was like, okay. I mean, someone that will be rejoicing now will be Ten Hag. So I was like, okay, Thomas Tuchel will be going to United. Okay, they might sack Ten Hag. All of a sudden, the switch just happened. Tuchel to England.
I also read somewhere that the FA had to speed up their negotiations with Tuchel once they heard that there were rumors of United going for Tuchel. I think they had already identified Tuchel as the ideal replacement, but they had to speed up the process because of United.
Yeah, I think United was actually slow with their process. I mean, I don't think United they are not ready to sack Ten Hag now. I don't know why, because I mean, if it's Chelsea. They have for don't go.
Well, I think the major reason, because I read the major reason why they are still delaying on the sack on Ten Hag, the financial implications. We know Ineos is trying to cut costs and trying to save money since their takeover. Now the financial implications on sacking the manager, you having to pay him a compensation fee of maybe 20 million or more. I think I read 15 million or up to 20 million if you're putting it together. So they're trying to cut costs and allow him see out his contract, or maybe prolong until it's when it is profitable for them to let him go.
Then that brings me to the question, at what expense? Because the team is kind of losing their reputation and everything. So at what expense? I mean, if it were Chelsea, I mean, he would have long gone by now. Sack him, give him his compensation, and just let him just go. I mean, it's not like about being a Chelsea fan, just like they know how to do the things. I mean, the reputation of the club is more important to, I mean, how many coaches have they sacked? Because they don't know how to, give you long-term. Look at Thomas Tuchel. He won the Champions League for Chelsea, won the Club World Cup. Immediately he started, being shaky. They sacked him. Yes, it took a toll on the players and everything, but then that is what they do. How many coaches have they sacked in? I'm not saying is a way of doing things, but then, I mean, Ten Hag said that an era is coming to an end, maybe the likes of Pep and others, but unfortunately, it's looking like his own era is coming to an end. But then, more luck to rival fans, because Ten Hag is still going to be there and Man is still going to be shaky. But then, looking at Thomas Tuchel to England, I would say kudos to some players, because I believe there are some players that are there that are his favorite, and he's going to use them. And let's just see what he is going to bring into play with the England squad, because for me, England has an amazing squad. They have a lot of formidable squad, player to player. if we should remove injury player to player, they have everybody in place for every position.
Yeah.
So I believe that he has everything
that
he needs to do well in England. So just good luck and see if he can help the likes of Harry Kane to get his hands on a trophy.
Well, wishing him all the best. Another person we'll be wishing all the best is Sir Alex Ferguson as he steps down from his Manchester United ambassadorial role as Ineos cuts costs, continues at Manchester United. The legendary club and the legendary manager have parted ways as Ineos continues to put cost-saving measures in place across the board to address years of losses. Sir Alex Ferguson's exit is understood to have been agreed amicably, and he is said always to be welcome at Old Trafford. Sir Alex Ferguson is to step down from his Manchester United ambassadorial role at the end of the season. Part owner Ineos has been overseeing cost-cutting measures since taking charge of football operations when Sir Jim Ratcliffe bought a minority stake in the Premier League club. It is understood that the decision was made amicably and the legendary manager will always be welcome at Old Trafford. But this is one news that everybody never expected to hear. I mean, yesterday it came like a shock hearing that legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson, which we always call SAF, has stepped down from his ambassadorial role, owing to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos trying to cut costs and save United from the ditch that they put themselves in the last 5 years. But looking at that story, without having to have any sentiments as to his achievement or how great he was, is that the right path for Manchester United at the moment? They have the issue of Erik ten Hag on one hand, and they have the issue of trying to get their players to perform well on the other hand. So how does this affect their gameplay or their overall performance on the pitch?
To be very, very honest, I think that it's time for Sir Alex Ferguson to step aside with Manchester United.
So you are with the board on this one?
I mean, he for how many years now? He's been with United for how many years? I think United should learn how to stay away from everything that has to do with Sir Alex Ferguson. He can come in, chip in some advice from wherever he is, but being part of the board and everything, I think he has done his part for Manchester United. Yeah. He has played his role. He has done everything he could for the 14 Premier League titles. He has done everything he could for the club. It's time to step aside. Allow United to run their team. You will not stay United forever. He's not going to be there. I mean, the same way Arsene Wenger stepped out from Arsenal, just left them and went ahead. That's just how it's supposed to be. He has tried. I mean, it's not his birthright. He's not going to be there forever. And the whole England Queen whole issue. But then, I feel like, with much respect to Sir Alex Ferguson, he has done absolutely well. 14 Premier League titles to Manchester United. Everything he has done for Champions League, I think 2 or 3 Champions League for them. It's time for him to step aside. So I don't think it's a wrong move. I mean, they can find a way to continue without him.
Well, the reports have, divided opinions among fans, those that have interest in Manchester United alike. But it's sad to see, a partnership broken into or divided or ended. So now moving on, we'll move to Joe Matip. We're hearing news that Joe Matip retires from football at the age of 33 after making nearly 500 senior appearances. The ex-SOUQ defender Matip is best remembered for his time at Liverpool, where he played 201 games, scored 11 goals, and helped the Reds win the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. Matip left Liverpool in the summer following the expiry of his contract after spending 8 hugely successful years at Merseyside. The 33-year-old suffered an anterior cruciate ligament, which is also known as ACL injury, on his last appearance for Liverpool against Fulham in December 2023, and has not played competitive football since. So Matip joined Liverpool as a free agent after leaving German club Schalke in the summer of 2016 with manager Jurgen Klopp going on to hail the signing as one of the best ever. Another legend, another great. Well, I wouldn't want to say it because a lot of people will say, how is he a legend? But looking at his laurels, looking at all the things that he have won, moving from Schalke to Liverpool, making those clutch moment. I mean, you remember the clutch moments that he has, been able to perform even for his country.
It's sad. I wanted to see more of Matip in the game, but unfortunately, this is what injury can do in world football. I mean, he's just 33 and he has retired. That brings me to the likes of what's his name? That also retired in Liverpool. He came from Bayern Munich and went to Liverpool.
Xabi Alonso.
Not Xabi Alonso. I'm trying to remember his name. He was number 6. Thiago Alcantara. He's an amazing player, but then injury. Yeah. So this is what injury. I've had countless number of Eden Hazard, likes of them that stopped playing because of injury. I mean, Matip was a very, very good player.
Very.
33 years of age. I mean, Ronaldo is 39. I'm not trying to compare the two of them, but then injury is something that can ruin your career. Now, it's happening to James at Chelsea. Yeah. I mean, back-to-back injury. It gets to take a toll on you, and you can just find yourself in a forceful retirement.
Well, it's indeed a forceful retirement for a 33-year-old. We wish him well, in every other endeavor of his career. Well, we'll be moving forward to tennis. Big names are taken to the courts across Asia and Europe today as they look to round up their 2024 season in style. Thomas Mahak continued where he left off after his semi-final run in Shanghai last week, easing past Timofey Skarkov with a 6-3, 6-4. Meanwhile, Yu Hian won the home soil in Ningbo, downing Alja Tomi Yangovich 6-4, 6-2. Caroline Muchova was involved in a real second set tussle, but in the end, the talented Czech Republic overcame Olivia Gajek 6-3, 7-5 in Ningbo. There have already been a bunch of results from Asia, with all of today's last 16 matches in Osaka coming in an end. Susan Lamens and Eva Lays, Clara Tuzan and Oel Ito were victorious to move into the quarterfinals. Daniel Medvedev will face world number 1 Jannik Sinner Daniel Medvedev will face world number 1 Jannik Sinner before Holdog Rune takes on Carlos Alcaraz in 2 heavy-hitting quarterfinals. Now we'll move over to rumor has it. Liverpool are struggling to make progress over new contract talks with Mohamed Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Virgil van Dijk. The Times says that the talks have been held with an agent of all 3 players, but little movement has been made. The senior trio are now all inside the final year of their contract and their current deals, as Salah is leaving and Alexander-Arnold and Van Dijk free to discuss free contract terms with foreign clubs in January. And it suggested Liverpool are reaching an agreement or even common ground in proving difficult with each player. Arsenal are confident French defender William Saliba will remain at the Emirates Stadium despite interest from Real Madrid. Now, John Duran has signed a new long-term contract with Aston Villa following the stunning start that he has had to the Premier League season. Now, it was announced on Monday Juventus could move for Everton 27-year-old England forward Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who will be out of his contract, in the summer. Now, External has also reported that Manchester United is open to letting £64 million Anthony leave on loan in January. Manchester United also approached Stuttgart manager Sebastian Hoeneß to replace Erik ten Hag over the summer, but he turned them down. Barcelona are interested in signing Erling Haaland to make the reopening of the Camp Nou, according to reports in Spain. Now, I would like to pause it there because it's one big news. Because I don't see how Barcelona would, be able to afford Erling Haaland, and also, how would they try to attract him or make it lucrative for him to leave Manchester City at the moment?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because it seems that at City, Haaland is being offered everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he has everything around him. He has KDB. Even when KDB is not around, he has everybody. I mean, everything is pointed towards him. He's the goal man. He's everything. So if he goes to Barca, chances are that he will not top the kind of goal scoring chart he's topping here.
Yeah.
So that one of the reasons. So I feel like, yes, they might want to replace Lewandowski from if he's going to leave. They want to replace him with a top striker. But then I feel like Haaland might not be able to go to Barcelona because of what you just said. What are they going to use to attract him? So it's going to be hard.
Because we see them struggling, especially at the Camp Nou. They are trying to, renovate the Camp Nou. They are struggling with
financially. They are struggling.
So a lot of things are hovering around Barcelona at the moment that will, put our minds in doubt and say that they cannot pull that deal off. But it remains to be seen. We see how they progress from that. Now, Manchester United are targeting Bayern Munich stars Leroy Sané, Leon Goretzka, and Alphonso Davies, according to reports from from Germany. Now, I don't see how this is, because they have taken 2 already, and they are still going back for more. What is United's problem at the moment? Because they look like they are not sure what they want to do. What do they want to do with Goretzka? It's more or less like replacing Asensio. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Replacing Casemiro with Goretzka. They're like for like. I know that when you go for a transfer or when you go for a player, you look for a transfer that will improve what you have at the moment. Now, I don't see Goretzka making any significant difference. I can't say the same for Alphonso Davies and Leroy Sané, because they are phenomenal players, outstanding players in their respective roles. But how does Goretzka fit in that Manchester United team? I
mean, even considering the fact that they also have Ugarte, who they signed from PSG. So I don't know. They're not the best for them, but I feel like that of Leroy Sané and Alphonso Davies is quite okay, because looking at the left side, Anthony is not doing much. Luke Shaw back-to-back injury and everything. So I feel like the likes of Leroy Sané and Alphonso Davies, if they can come in, it can go a long way to help Manchester United. But then, can they be able to pull off the transfer? Like you said, they have only taken 2 players from Bayern Munich. Can they be able to pull off the transfer? I think, but see, they have to sell off some players. Now, that brings me to Anthony. According to reports, they want to sell Anthony for 86 million. Who is going to buy Anthony for 86 million? Is it possible? I don't think so. I mean, he has not been up to play since how many? 1 goal. Has this goal ever scored goals this season or assisted? Yeah, no, I don't think so.
In the FA Cup.
Okay, in the FA Cup. So, I mean, nobody will want to buy that kind of player for 86 million. It's not even possible. So they have to let go of some players in order to raise money to balance everything. Well, if had it been in some clubs, I think they'll just go ahead and make some signings. So I think the whole Ineos and everything is making them to drag their feet towards signing of players and everything.
The angle I'm looking at it is, how are they going to outbid Madrid, especially for Alphonso Davies, because we know that is another player that is on the radar of Real Madrid.
Everybody wants to wear white.
Yeah. So how are they going to manage to outbid Real Madrid, especially owing to their financial, struggles, trying to cut costs and, make more money to balance their spreadsheet?
And another thing, yes, what are you attracting these players with? We are playing the Europa League, not like it's guaranteed that they're going to win it with this kind of performance. So now, if players would rather go to Madrid and sit down on the beach and win the Champions League, unless players that really want to play, regardless, they'll just move to any club, just like what happened to Chelsea. Some players came because they wanted to play, and also that financial attraction there that came up, raising their bid and everything. So I feel like they just need to step up a lot of things for them to be able to attract players.
Well, moving forward, Germany centre-back Marvin Friedrich could leave Borussia Mönchengladbach in January, and these reports are coming via Germany in Frankfurter. And also, Arsenal have joined Tottenham in the race to sign 22-year-old Ukrainian attacker and attacking midfielder Georgiy Sudakov from Shakhtar Donetsk. And that will be a wrap for our rumors for today. And we'll be looking at sport business. UEFA's 6-year deal with beIN Sports for the rights to its men national team competition in MENA is in line with the annualized value of previous cycle. Now, also, Russell Jones, General Manager of Marketing and Commercial Growth for Wolves, talks about the team's new kit deal with club-affiliated Sudo brand and how links to the music industry led to the recent sleeve deal with JD Sports. Now, League 1 clubs are looking, or they are losing patience rather, with France's Professional Football League over the handling of its relationship with domestic rights partner BN Sport, which continues to withhold its first installment. Now, we talk about football, we talk about sports, we talk about the business part of football, the business part of sports. Now, you're seeing that across board, across all sports, a lot of teams are trying to make money moves and trying to strengthen themselves with the rising cost of inflation and all that is going on around the world. Well, with that, we would call it a wrap today. It's been my pleasure bringing today's edition of SOUQ Sports to you, and alongside with me, I have one of our runaway guests who has returned and is showing his might, really. But it was an exciting show. It was an exciting program. What are your final thoughts?
Well, it's been an amazing midweek week with that Premier League though. But then, yes, we are coming back to the weekend with Premier League, and we have a lot of matches. Which one of you are going to see Liverpool up against Chelsea and some matches in Liga, Spanish La Liga, and lots of them. So we've actually missed it, and I can't wait to get back into the thick of things when it comes to the world of football. And also, the one advice I'm going to give out there is that as you are going out to watch the game of football, just make sure you devoid yourself of violence. It's just one game football without violence. There's no, you can win, you can lose. It's not a matter of for you to start fighting up and down. So just go out there for the love of football. Watch. If your club wins, fine. If they lose, you just chest it and move ahead.
Well, you chest the results and you chest the wins and losses. Well, it's been my pleasure bringing to you this lineup of events that has happened from Monday, Tuesday, and that will happen today, talking about the NPFL, the games that will be coming out. They have exciting clashes that will be coming up in the NPFL today from 2 p.m. and also by 4 p.m. I still remain Charlie Montero, and unfortunately our TC, our top cat, was not able to be, and I'm standing in for him. And I would like to see you guys come on Friday, join us on Friday, and also hear your thoughts on all the programs and all the talking points that we have had. It is my pleasure to bring this sport to you, like I said before, and I would say thank you for joining us and see you next Friday.